Good morning traders and welcome to today's live trading. Today is the 14th of March, it's a Thursday, and as usual we are on the FTSE 100. So let me run you through today's band analysis. You can see that price has already touched one this morning around the 7135 level. We have one not too far up around the 7165 level, another one that I've marked in around the 7190 level, and I've marked just another one down at 7090. Looking at this market this morning, I would quite like to trade from this band up towards this band. I'm hoping that this is not the beginning of a move that I'm going to miss, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's not quite 5 minutes to the open yet, so there's time for it to come back down. What was I saying? Yes. So yeah, that would be the trade I would like to take. I'm honestly not too concerned about trading from any of these bands, to be honest, just the way the price is acting at the moment. If we look across at yesterday, you can see, you can see a lot of sort of hesitant price action, I think I would call this. You get bursts of moments where it knows where it wants to go, and then a lot of indecision. This is probably down to all the Brexit talks. I think they're taking a vote today on whether to delay Brexit in the UK, so that might play a part in today's price action and price movement. So I think probably the best course of action for today would to just be trade a little bit more cautiously. Moves might take a little bit longer to actually play out just because of how hesitant price is to make a move. I think we talked about it last week actually. You can see like here where we get an up candle, down, up, and then it makes a little bit of a move, and then it's straight back into that pattern for about an hour. And it's doing that all throughout the day. So it's just something to be aware of. When you're going into the trading day, to keep it in the back of your mind and think, okay, well, I need to allow for X, Y, Z, and in this case, it's just this shitty price action, really. So yeah, that's all that I'm thinking at the moment. The upper time frame charts are fairly neutral. I will flick over to them. I think one of the requests was to start showing the upper time frames a little bit more often, so I will endeavour to do that. But you can see it doesn't look too dissimilar from the 5 minute chart, to be honest, in that we get a lot of up and then down price action, a lot of indecisive price action. So we're currently sat between these two bands. We're actually sat on the 200 moving average. I mean, that in itself tells you how indecisive this market is at the minute, just waiting for something to happen, some information to act on, before it wants to make another move, I think, in a particular direction. You could see even on the 4 hour here that we're getting this sort of triangle type price action. I'm not really too bothered about stuff like that, but yeah, there you are. So anyway, back to the 5 minute chart. We've got, like I said, just a few minutes to the open. This is looking like it might want to come right up to that top band without waiting around. But I'm going to grab a drink and I will catch you once the market's live. Okay, so we've just gone 12 o'clock, and what I'm going to do is put a sell order beneath this signal here. So the low of this candle is 9.8, so I want to be in at 8.6. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. 8.6. Okay, so the order's in there. There's not really been too much to talk about this morning. I mean, we've had a lot of price action. I think the last update was this morning. I was talking about potentially buying from here, but we were halfway towards this band anyway, and price rocketed after it opened straight up into this band, reacted a little bit, and then just carried on moving up. And then we came up to this band, we got a lot of chop, a minor break there. I talked about trading cautiously this morning. This is a signal, but there wasn't enough confluences to override that cautious approach. It did move up quite nicely, however, and then there's just been no signals from this point up until now, where we just had this candle here. So if we do manage to get below here, then yes, I will be triggered into the trade. If we close above this signal, like always, I will just cancel the order. It's looking like it might want to do that. But we'll see. What I'll do is I'll bring the ticket across for the order itself so you can see it, and then you know, if it gets triggered, this will disappear, and I'll bring the live ticket across, set the stop loss as I usually do, and then we'll see how the trade progresses. But failing that, if it does just close back up towards the top of the band, I'll just cancel this order and continue to watch this level though for a potential trade. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so annoyingly that has closed above the signal candle there, so I will just be cancelling this order. So that's that done. Like I said, I am still interested in this level for a couple of reasons. Obviously, it's a solid support and resistance band within itself. It's got today's R2 in there, but when looking at the higher time frames, we're quite a way away from the ATMA. It's been a while since we tested it on the hourly. So I moved down, we could get all the way down to the band below before even having to test the ATMA, and it's even lower on the 4 hour, we're not even into that band yet. So yeah, there's room to trade downwards. Obviously it's against the momentum, which is why it's sort of key to get in early. I liked this one because we tested the ATMA, and that's just one of those things that I like to see price do out of the way. But never mind, it's carrying on moving up now, so we'll see what happens. If it does break this band, I do have another one above. I will mark it in a second. But we're getting towards today's R3, so who knows where price is heading. But I'll go back to watching for now. Alright, well I haven't had to wait too long, just the next candle. I'm a little bit late to this, but it's not really gone anywhere yet. So I'm going to put a sell signal below this candle here. A low of 11.8, so I want it to be in at 10.6. Submit that. So yes, we have another order in. I'll bring the ticket across. It's basically the same trade as before. We've now tested this ATMA a couple of times. We've got price has moved above the previous price action and closed down below, back in the band. It's a nice signal. And let's just see if we get triggered, I guess. Like I say, it's the same trade as before. If he does carry on moving up and closes above, again, I will cancel it. It will be frustrating, but that's what we'll do. Let's see if we can actually move down this time and move towards this band here. Okay, I'm closing the trade there for 13 points. Trade closed. It's come down to just above the level, the band, sorry, that I was looking at. I think the stop on this one was, I think it was about 12 points, 11, 12 points. So 13 points is enough. I just don't want it. Really, when you're looking down at these levels, you've got those pins there, and you've got sort of the closes of the candles there. We're right into that sort of mini area of price activity where you're likely going to see some reaction if you're going to get reaction. Marry that up with this tremendous upwards momentum that we've had today, and that's just something that I don't ordinarily in normal market environment. I think I've talked about this before. I probably would give that room to sort of, you know, see what happens, see if it's going to make its way closer to that band. Excuse me. But in this situation, just because of the background environment that you've got, you know, you're conscious of that in the back of your mind, I shouldn't push this trade too much. I've got over 1-to-1 risk to reward now. I'm just going to take the money there. It's a sensible level to do so. Then yeah, it makes perfect sense. You've got to trade the, you know, information that you have, and the information that I have is telling me that we are constantly making higher highs and higher lows. I did well to get into this trade early, and I might have just caught a mini, leg down on what is a bigger move up. So I'm not going to try and push that and look for a bigger reversal because it might not come. If it does come, and it does sometimes, and you're out early, then if your trading plan, if the aim of the trade is to get out at the point you got out, you can't be upset if the trade goes lower. The market's got to go somewhere, either up or down. So it might go lower, but that's not the trade that you intended to take. So if you stuck to your plan, got in where you wanted to, got out where you wanted to, brilliant. That's all you can do. Don't let the market movement afterwards frustrate or upset you, because there's no point. So yeah, somebody did ask a question actually on last week's. Somebody asked a couple of weeks ago as to whether my edge in the market may disappear over time, and whether I'd be concerned about that. And I thought it was a really good question because, trading techniques, they're all over the internet, and people might be skeptical and think, well, if too many people pick this up, it might work in the short term, but in the long term, if everybody's doing it, surely it can't work. And it's a good train of thought. But my thinking is, and my belief is, that this particular approach to the markets is based on human behaviour. I'm looking to see where people are selling and people are buying, and getting into opportunities whereby it could go one way or the other. I'm basically looking for opportunities in the market whereby when price gets to that level, it's almost like a sticking point, and it'll either go one way or the other. And if I can get into a position where I only have to risk a certain amount to potentially win an amount that's more than that, then I'm happy to get into that trade. And that sort of situation within the markets will never disappear. The way in which I identify them might change slightly in the analysis that I do. So the way I structure my morning analysis, that might change, a couple of years down the line, because it changes. There are minute changes all the time, and I mean all the time. I'm constantly testing stuff, and if I find that something has a little bit more success than another thing, then I'll just change it. It might be that, it might be the tiniest of change. For example, when I get into trades, instead of using 1.2 as that buffer where price has to move past that candle, that might come down to 0.5 points, for example. If testing shows that actually a move past the candle at all is as good, and you make that extra half a point on every trade, then yeah, it's worth doing. If testing shows that, of course. So in a word, no, I'm not concerned that my edge would disappear. But that said, I'm not, how can I put it? I'm not relying on the fact, I'm not blindly believing that it won't change. And I am always staying open to the possibility that things are changing in the markets, and the way that I need to identify my edge may change. So I hope that answers your question. But thank you very much for watching. If anybody else has any other questions that they want me to cover in these videos or another video, please do let me know. As always, I really do hope that these live trades help, give you an insight into my trading days. If they do, great. If you have liked the video, please do consider leaving a like on it. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing. I do try to do these every week. But thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.